Hey everyone, how's it going? So, figured I record the Uncharted Golden Abyss review right now. I actually beat the game like a week ago, so I'm actually on my second playthrough currently. So I just thought I'd give my thoughts and I'll let you guys know what I think of the game. So obviously, Uncharted Golden Abyss is probably the game that everyone's getting for the PlayStation Vita. Just slap Uncharted on the game and then you get like a couple sales in there. But a lot of people are wondering, is it a dumbed down experience because it's on a handheld, and obviously, what's its strength, what's its weaknesses, and stuff like that. So, uh, I'm happy to report that it's not a dumbed down experience at all. Actually, it's definitely a good campaign. It's a lot of fun. There are a couple things it does. It does mostly everything right, but as far as gameplay goes, it doesn't quite nail it. And I think it's because um, of the what I discussed back in my PlayStation Vita impressions. I said that there's a little bit of input lag as far as shooting goes, and that still seems to be here. The shooting feels kind of stiff. It's slow. There's just like a bit of input lag in there, and actually on my second playthrough right now I've been I turned the sensitivity all the way up and it improved it, but it's still there unfortunately. So anyway, let's break it down. This is a prequel to the Uncharted franchise, so this takes place before Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and so just don't expect like this is going to be like some in-between thing. The only character that we basically know that returns is Sully. So he's in the game, and then everyone else is a new character, which is pretty cool. The story is, in my opinion, it's a good story. I have to say that out of all the games, I think it's the weakest. Not saying that it's a bad story at all. It's a good enough story to keep you interested and keep you to want to play some more, but I did enjoy the first Uncharted and the third Uncharted, story-wise, a lot more than Uncharted Golden Abyss. But what's going on is you're asked by your friend Dante, who basically is an old friend of Drake's, and he asked Drake to come along and basically help him search for treasures in this mysterious place. Long story short, Dante doesn't tell him the whole story, so he gets wrapped up in some trouble with this ex general called Guerrero. Right, he's an ex general for some Mexican army forces or whatever, and he actually owns the whole dig site that you guys are at. So you're there basically uninvited, and Dante owes a lot of Aguero a lot of money. So basically, car outside. So basically, Dante kind of turns on everyone and just basically becomes the villain. There's actually two villains, of course. You got Guerrero and then Dante. So it's pretty interesting to see how these two villains interact, because it's kind of like every man for himself. You start the game off with a partner. You're basically through the whole game, you're basically with a partner. About 80% of the time you're with a partner, and the new girl is called Marissa Chase, and she has a mysterious background. Basically, her grandfather owned the dig site, and basically, found all those treasures. And basically, once he died, and once he just wasn't able to continue, he gave the we didn't really give it, but Dante kind of stole the whole project from him and kind of pushed Marissa Chase out. All right, and so Dante owns the project, and he kind of gave it to Guerrero as far as okay, this is kind of like my payment I owe to you or whatever, but they're still talking. But it's not as I'm making it sound like it's a confusing story. It really isn't. It's pretty easy to follow. So just the story's good. It is a pretty interesting story overall. As far as graphics goes, this is where Uncharted Golden Abyss shines, because the graphics are really good. I think Uncharted Golden Abyss is more technically impressive than the game is. I think that what they did as far as graphics and how they implemented all that into the PlayStation Vita, I think that's more impressive than the actual game itself. But the graphics look good. They definitely rival the PlayStation 3's graphics. I have to say, it looks as good as like a launch title. As far as Uncharted Extortion goes, it doesn't look as good, but it still looks to the point where, okay, this looks like a console game. So really, as far as graphics goes, the game does an amazing job. Gameplay, like I said, this is where things kind of just drop and just don't feel right. The third-person shooting is, while they're fun segments, like I said, the input lag just bothers me. And I don't even know if it's input lag at all, but I turned up the sensitivity and I'm still getting slow, movements. I'm not really fond of the shooting, and I also think that it's not only the input lag, but it's the size of the analog sticks. I mean, these are small analog sticks. So I think it is, partly input lag and the size of the analog sticks as well that kind of messed up my shooting. But they are fun shooting segments in there, so that's cool. What else? Climbing, same thing, climbing's pretty cool. I have to say that overall, this is one of the least frustrating Uncharted games you're probably ever going to play. This game has what I like to call safety barriers, alright? And basically that means that if you're hanging on a ledge and you want to see, oh, well, can I drop down to that ledge? If you press circle, he won't drop. Like, if you press circle and he's not supposed to go there, like, he will not drop. He'll look down and say, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. So, as like from the console versions where you just press circle and you just let go, and you would say, okay, fine, I couldn't grab that when I dropped. If you try to drop in this game, you can't. It's very there's a lot of safety barriers in there that prevent you from jumping to a certain area or dropping to your death. For instance, it's pretty easy. Even when he jumps, like I tried to jump off a ledge, like a high ledge, and like off into like a let's say, like when you get to one of the last levels, you're sitting on this little mountain, right? I tried jumping off this mountain to try to see if I would commit suicide or whatever. He jumped off, he kind of stopped halfway and he dropped. And he dropped to fine. He actually survived that fall. He just dropped to the next floor below. So you're not gonna die a lot from falls or anything like that. Just the shooting segments. So, and those do go fairly well. But yeah, Uncharted Golden Abyss is a fun game. Definitely a good campaign, and something that I'm going to be replaying. Like I said, I'm on my second playthrough right now. I'm playing it on hard to unlock the crushing difficulty. Once I play it on crushing, I'll unlock. I'll go ahead and play it again, probably for treasures and stuff. But it's a fun experience, fun game, and a really just enjoyable. An enjoyable experience overall. So yeah, unfortunately, and this is something I do want to touch on, there is no multiplayer at all. There's no multiplayer segments whatsoever, and it's kind of disappointing. I wish there was some form of multiplayer, even if it was like one game mode. I wish that multiplayer was implemented in here, because I think that would have gave the game a lot of replay ability, more than just going back and collecting treasure and playing the single player campaign once again. So I do wish there was more. I do wish there was some form of multiplayer option. Unfortunately, but there is not. So yeah, that's my review. I'd give it a. I don't like doing 8.5s. I don't like doing that 0.5. I don't like that at all. I give it a solid 8. A solid 8. It's a good game, It's a good game. I like the console versions better, but as far as story goes, I like the console versions better. But it is Ben's studio who tackled this, not Naughty Dog. So I think they did a good job overall, both technically and with the game. So yeah, that's it. Talk to you guys later, and thanks for watching.